Okay, today's project is a winch brake cylinder out of a Timberjack log skidder. So the initial complaint was the cylinder went the same direction, whether you were trying to hold or release, which didn't really make a lot of sense. So we did what the guy wanted the cylinder rebuilt, and we did that. Now, 24 hours later, customer comes back. He's working with Amish Andy. Amish Andy's been running the machine because customers got tennis elbow. And apparently we were jerking on a log truck now, come to find out. Okay, the winch brake cylinder is gone, but the winch is here. It's got a drive issue. We got to tear it apart and see what's wrong with it. Okay, we were testing this clutch. Basically, this is the clutch over here. There's a bunch of clutches in there. Has some internal and external teeth. The drum's got internal teeth, the drive hub's got external teeth, and there's clutch discs and fiber discs in there. You know, one's got the internal splines or teeth, and the other one's got the external teeth. And basically, the clutch locks up and makes the winch drive. So you put some air to it, and it locks up and drives the winch. But when you turn the drive shaft, it doesn't drive. Okay, we did some initial troubleshooting here. We put some shop air to the clutch pack over here and engage that. And then when we turn the input shaft here, we can turn the winch. But then you can hold the drum, and over here we had the cover off, shaft's all turning. So yeah, I did take this apart, and the hub in here, I would assume the key is sheared off in there. So we'll take it apart and see what we got. So when I put the air to it, I was sitting in this chair, and when I let go of the air, it got me right in the crotch. So that's enough of this for today. Okay, here's some of the parts. We got the winch completely torqued apart. Brass gear, worm gear. There's our problem. Broken main shaft or drum shaft. Broken in half. That'll keep it from winching in. But we got a little bit of grease leaking out the back of that gearbox. I think the engagement clutch is leaking because we've got a bunch of oil on our clutch discs. Now here's the fiber, or steel plates and fiber discs, and those are all got oil on them. Thinking the clutch is leaking onto here. That or somebody's giving this way too much grease and we're pumping grease right through here. I don't know for sure. Brake band is all saturated with oil too. I burnt some of it off there. Okay, here's the clutch. Now basically this would be flipped over, but this would be keyed to the drum shaft, and this would be basically driving all the time through the worm gearbox. And then when the clutch is applied, it locks up the clutch pack, and these external teeth, there's grooves in the drum that match the external teeth. So basically, this is the big clutch here. You alternate a fiber plate, steel plate, fiber plate, till you get all stuck in there. And then this is the pressure plate. These springs release it, and then this clutch, or this hydraulic cylinder applies it. So basically hydraulic pressure is sent here, extends this, moves this, compresses this, drives this. Pretty simple. But of course we're pretty, we got a lot of oil leaked onto these. It was working. The shaft broke. I don't know what we fix here. Okay, we've been contemplating our problem here. We got oil-soaked clutches. You can just see it shining on there. So, pretty sure that means it's a bad clutch cylinder, but I don't know. We gotta test it. We can't just go chasing and buying parts. So let's go see if we can figure out if that's leaking or not. Okay, I've got the clutch cylinder in the vise here. And then as it works, and I gotta winch the vise in a little bit. See it collapse in there? Give it a little bit. So basically that's at rest, and then we go to engage it, which instead of air, we're going to have hydraulic fluid there. That locks it in. But we were leaking here somewhere. I could see it pushing a little spooge around the... We'll just let it sit there for a minute. Okay, we got some... Put some brake cleaner in there. We got a sizzler. That would leak oil at a 400 pounds, 500 pounds. We've got a 125 pound shop air on there. That's going to need a seal kit, I guess. I guess our assumption was right, that we were leaking oil. That's just one more spot. Okay, we took the clutch cylinder apart, and inside that is a spring. And it's got this, looks like a piece of aluminum pressed in there. And another piece in there. So I don't know if you renew this with new pieces of aluminum, because that's kind of where the piston, there's a seal in there. You can see it. That I would assume would ride on this surface here where my thumb is. Here's where the oil comes in. I don't know. I guess I got to think about that a little bit more. But basically there's a couple seals in there. There's one in there. And one there. And then out here is a piece of felt, which I thought was grease until I started really getting into it, and I thought it was must be to keep dirt out. I wonder if you use an O-ring now, or they still use felt. We will find out. And I guess you hear horror stories of pressing these back together. I don't know if the seals stick out far enough and you ruin the kits. Maybe these edges are too sharp, they ruin the kit, I don't know. We'll find out how to ruin a kit shortly. Okay, or as far as we can go. We got all our parts cleaned up, buffed up, where the gaskets go. Got our separator plates all scratched up. Pressure plates cleaned up. Clutch hubs cleaned up. Gotta do the brake band yet. Knock the bearings out of the drum. But we'll wait till we get the rest of the parts to do that.